Next is problem number 5, and this is the solver model for CPM, and here is the Excel data. So we have the rows here and the columns here, and we need to come up with the formulas for the given cell addresses. So first is F2, and this, by the way, is MCA, maximum crashing allowed. Maximum crashing allowed is normal time minus crash time. So this is B2 minus C2. So this is next is G2, and this is crashing cost per week. So you have to take the difference between these two cells and then divide by the maximum crashing allowed. So this should be, don't forget the brackets, E2 minus D2 divided by F2. Okay, next is C15. Now C15 is right here. That is actual duration. Actual duration is normal duration minus the crash time. So this will be B2 minus B15. Alright. The next one is D18. So D18 is the earliest start time for activity D. So activity D, for that we need the successors. For activity D we have A and B as the predecessor. So this is max of the finish time of A and B, which is E15 and E16. Okay. Next is E18. So E18 is the finish time. So finish time is the start time plus the actual duration. Actual duration is C18. Okay. Next is D21. D21 is activity G, start time for G, D and E are the predecessors. So D1 is maximum of the finish time of D and E, so which will be like E18 and E19. Next is C25. C25 is project completion time. So project completion time is the maximum of the finish time of the last activities, and for that we need the successors. So let's now look at what the successors are for each of the activities. Okay. Now activity A, the successors are D and C and D. For B, it is D and E. For C, it is just simply F. For D, it is G. For E, it is G and H. For F, it is I. For G, again it is I. And the remaining two do not appear as predecessors, so those two are the finish. Okay. So the project completion time C25 is the max of the finish time of the last two activities are H and I. So E22 and E23. So this is max E22 and E23. Next is G19. So G19 is the latest finish time of E. So you look at the successors for E, which are G and H. So G and H, the latest start time for G and H, which will be like F21 and F22, and the minimum of that. So this is minimum of F21 and F22, because those are the two successors for E. And then F19, so F19 is the start time for E, so which will be like the finish time minus the actual duration. So it will be like G19 minus the actual duration being C19. So G19 minus C19. The next is G16. G16 is the finish time for B, and B, the successors are D and E. So D and E, the latest start time are F18 and F19. So it is the minimum of those two. So minimum of F18 and F19. Next is G15. So G15 is activity A, the latest finish time for the successors are C and D. So it is the minimum of the start time for C and D, which will be like F17 and F18. So it is minimum of F17 and F18. Next is H15. So H15, that's the slack. So slack is the difference between the two start times or the two finish times. So you can go like F15 minus D15 or G15 minus E15. Both will be correct. So this is either F15 minus D15 or G15 minus E15. Next is B27. So B27 is the normal project cost. Normal project cost is the sum of all of these different costs. So that will be D2 through D10. So that is equal to sum of D2 through D10. Next is B28. So that's crashing cost. Crashing cost is actual how much crashing we're going to do. You do a sum product of that with crashing cost per week. So sum product between B15 to B23 and G2 through G10. So this will be equal to sum product of B15 through B23, comma, G2 through G10. And finally, B29 is the total cost is sum of these two, B27 plus B28. So this is equal to B27 plus B28. Next C is what is the solver target cell for minimizing the project completion time. So that will be like C25. C25 is the project completion time. So this is C25. Okay, D is what is the solver changing cells. Changing cells are these B15 through B23. Okay. Then finally, what are the solver constraints? So the solver constraints are the crashing time cannot exceed, so it must be less than or equal to MCA. So that will be B15 through B23 is less than or equal to G2, F2 through F10. Then optionally we can require the crashing time to be integer. So we can say B15 through B23 equal to integer, and this is optional.